So yeah, if you're just now joining, I'm trying to get things set up. It's my inexperience here setting this up, but we're going to be talking about some basic trading and looking at some charts here. Trying to get some technical stuff set up since this is the first time I've done this. If you're watching this later on the YouTube pre-recording or what have you, go ahead and fast forward through all this stuff here while we get things set up. Some exciting things going on with the market right now with Bitcoin, BTC. Want a little bit of a trading range here. Hopefully the music isn't too loud right now. I'm kind of running in the background here. And actually I need to change it because this is paid music and it won't let me monetize this video. Oh well, screw it. I'll worry about that later. If you're in the BTC Charts chat room, btccharts.com, why don't you let me know if the music's too loud. I can't tell from right here if it's coming through too loud on your end. Hopefully you can hear my voice more than the music. And I think I goofed up on one thing, but we're not going to have any Q&A, so I'm just going to go ahead and start off real quick. We're going to run this for about maybe 15-20 minutes and just cover some real basic stuff on charts. There's not going to be any Q&A on this one, but this will get recorded and put on YouTube so you can look at later. So let's take a look at some things. We're looking at btccharts.com. If you want to follow along, feel free to do so. It's free at btccharts.com. As well as we're going to be looking at Bitcoin Wisdom, or bitcoinwisdom.com. So let's look at that. We're going to pull up MT Gox, and I'm going to change the music here to something a little bit different. How about, where's my little soft music? Yawn, soft music. Alright, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's not too loud and it won't overpower me talking here. Let's turn this down a little bit more. Alright, a little bit of ambiance. So this is Bitcoin Wisdom as well. Now, basic looking at charts, this will cover whether you're looking at stocks or Forex or anything like that. Basic stuff, the terminology are things like candles. You're looking at reds and greens, or you're looking at blues and whites and things like that. And essentially all this is going to be telling you is the ups and downs of the price range. So some other things that people don't know about these candles is that the candles here that are, say, green represent the price going up, right? One thing that you need to look at and pay attention to is, like, sometimes different charts will fill in the candles. Sometimes they'll be hollow, sometimes they'll be solid. So what that actually means is, based on the up and down, is it higher or lower than the previous period? So in the case of this red one, it's solid because not only did the price go down and it's red, it's filled in because of the fact that it opened and closed lower than the previous period. Might be able to scroll back here and find some other chart. Maybe not on Bitcoin Wisdom. Let's look at Clark Moody real quick. Wow. And let's look at something smaller, like a 15-minute, maybe a 5-minute. So like right here, if we zoom in a little bit, we've got a red candle here that is hollow. And we got a solid red candle next to it, and the reason why is because of the fact that it's red because in this period of, say, 15 minutes or whatever this is, the price went down. It opened up here and it closed down here, so it turns red. However, the closing price point is not lower than the previous candle, so in that point it goes hollow. Just like the following red candle, it's a solid red because it closed out lower than the last period. So the closing price is over here. Let me zoom out just a little bit so I can see these numbers. Work with me. There we go, 813. So this hollow red closed at 813, or hell, it's right there, 820. Closed at 820. This one here closed at 810. So at that point, it's a hollow red because it's lower than the last closing. Whereas this green one closed at 823. But this one closed at 820, which is still higher than the previous one, because this one is all of this right here, this whole high and low. So that's how come the fact that that one is empty, hollow, and not solid. So there's a little thing about the candles there. A lot of times people want to know what the little tits, I don't know what the better way to call it, the little tits or the lines on the top and the bottom of the candles, and that's what actually makes them the candle, the wicks. So one of the things that that tells you is the highs and the lows. So when you're looking at some of the price information, you'll see that in the upper left-hand corner it says open, high, low, and close. So the highs and the lows are what the actual wicks are at the top and the bottoms, whereas the actual solid boxes that make the actual candle wax, that's actually the opens and closes. So on a red stick, red candlestick, it would be the open is the lower one, and the close, I'm sorry, the open is the higher one, and the close is the lower one. Whereas with a solid green, the open is going to be the lower one, and the close is the higher one. And once again, that's all about price point only. That's what colors those candles red and green. Real basic stuff. That's pretty much in any chart that you're going to look at. Let's see. Let's look at some other features of this particular chart. Besides the candlesticks themselves, you've got two lines here, and those can actually be set in the settings up above if you don't have those. I believe that's a setting up here for, where is it at? Oh no, on Clark Moody it's all good. It includes it in there. That's the EMAs. So your EMAs are kind of the moving averages, so it includes that on the chart for you. So that kind of helps with some basic trending of deciding where the market's going. A lot of people that are new to trading talk about they trade using EMA. It's like, well, yeah, you can, but that's not exactly the best way. And the reason why is because EMA, as you're looking at it in the most current periods, you'll see that there's some spacing here. That's pretty much what's going on now. The problem is a lot of the signals that the EMA is supposed to show you don't actually show up till you're beyond where that decision was made. So like right now they could be far apart, but maybe 3-4 more periods away, those lines would actually be touching if the price changes. So at the point that you're actually seeing those lines crossing, you're late, you're behind, especially on a fast moving market like Bitcoin. It moves so fast that by the time those things are touching, you're too late. So EMAs kind of give some good indications for long runs or long dips, but they're not going to help you on some quick price changes that happen all the time in Bitcoin. So you got to kind of be wary about that kind of stuff. Let's see, let's zoom out here. What's some other things we can talk about? We're talking about candlesticks, reds and greens. We've got hollows and solids. We've got the moving averages. Let's see, let's go back to Bitcoin wisdom here. So some of the chart patterns, a lot of times people are asking me about chart patterns. That's also called technical analysis. So if you want to Google some stuff for technical analysis, there's all kinds of stuff out there. One of the things that I like to use is Investopedia. So we'll type in Investopedia. And there's some other great, probably some even better ones out there that I haven't come across recently. But once you get to the sites or whatever, you can probably look in here for different charting. Let's see, where is it at? Tutorials. Oh, one thing I forgot about this freaking Pandora is there's going to be commercials, so I'm going to say forget that. And let's see, where do we got? Tutorials by category. You know what? Screw that. Type Investopedia and then charts. Analyzing chart patterns introduction. That's exactly what. It's under active trading. There we go. Analyzing chart patterns. Whole list of them. Y charts, head and shoulders, cup and handle, double top, double bottom. All this great stuff. A lot of the stuff that we're seeing recently are flags and pennants. And the reason why is because whenever you have some really big movements with volume, which is constant in Bitcoin, it goes up, it goes down, you get different patterns like the flag or the pennant. Recently we got a pennant, so let's take a look at that. What it was is we'd been in the slump for quite a while. This is the big dip right here, and then we jumped up and everyone's been complaining like, are we going to go up and down? What are we going to do? And here's where that pattern kind of starts to happen, is it has a top up here and a bottom right here, and then it just kind of gets smaller and smaller, and then at the tip of that flag or that pennant you tend to have a change. You break out of that pattern. And usually that pattern is defined by your pre-existing trend. So in this case, because there was a jump up, your pre-existing trend is up because we've kind of bottomed out right here down at 580, and now you're creating this pattern of a pennant. So at the tip of the pennant, you would quote continue the pre-existing trend, which in this case, if we say that it's an up, then you're going to continue up, which we did. And once again, now there's a smaller pattern emerging here. So we're looking at 15 minutes right now. So you could say the same thing, that this is the high, this is the low. We're starting to consolidate. So whenever you hear someone talk about, well, we're getting some consolidation. Well, the way that is where it kind of gives an up and down, but it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you look at the chart example here on Investopedia, it's exactly what you get right here. So as you see here, the trend would be going up. The pennant pattern gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then towards the tip, you have a time where people tend to think, okay, this is the true price. We've got this up and down, up and down. We don't know where the price is at. Once you start to get to that tip of the pennant, people are saying, okay, this is the true price. We've kind of stopped reacting to all the volume. Here's the tip. So boom, you've got a breakout, and like it says up here, typically a pennant is going to continue whatever the pre-existing trend was or whatever. So after that, let's say, where would it say that? Generally short-term patterns. Yeah, this is like stock stuff. So they're talking about short-term patterns or 1 to 3 weeks. If you do Bitcoin, a short-term pattern is like for 15 minutes to an hour. That's a short-term pattern. Bitcoin definitely moves a lot faster. That's a lot of times people that come from the stocks and Forex backgrounds, and they feel really confident and stuff, which I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing, but they have to get used to the price movements that are all the time in Bitcoin. So don't let that fool you. A lot of this stuff with things with timing, saying, you know, short-term weeks, yeah, that's not in Bitcoin. That's for stocks and stuff. But yeah, all good information in Investopedia. Definitely check that out. Like I said, they've got a whole bunch of links here in their little tutorials here. Flags, we got the wedge, gaps, triple bottoms. We haven't hit a whole lot, but one of the things that we caught the other day was a double top, which I was been saying in the btccharts.com chat room, was like, holy crap, we've never ever had in 2013 a daily double top, and that was actually happened right here. Let's use Clark Moody here. Let's go to daily, and you'll see here, there's your double top. I mean, that was, to me, it surprised me, and I was kind of like, whoa, this is a big deal that we hit a top here, we came down, we went up, we hit that, and then this was on the China news that it kind of went down, and that told me, even though we were back up here at like 1100, that told me that things were going to be changing. And so if you know your chart patterns and you look at here and figure out what a double top is, typically a double top is where your price jumps up and it hits a ceiling or what they call a resistance, and the price doesn't go up, so it tends to bounce back down. But because of the fact of the market and things going on, it goes right back up. But it hits the same level, the same price level, which is exactly what we did right here. It pretty much hit 1230, 1240. And at that point, you get this other bounce to where it comes down, and that's a key indicator that, okay, this could be a double top, and now we're going to see a price drop. And that's exactly what we did here. Whether what people wanted to say that it was based on the China thing or what the reasons were behind it, it doesn't matter, because there's so many people trading off of just technical analysis. It tends to propagate its own, you know, it foretells its own future, because people tend to see that and go, just like me, and say, hey, we're going to be down for a couple of days. And even after that first day, I said we're looking at 3 to 4 days of red on the daily chart. And sure enough, I got my 3 days of red. I also pegged the 650. I mentioned that we probably hit 650, and that would be the time to buy back in. That would kind of be a good time to jump back in. Now we did go lower. I'm not perfect. We did end up going all the way down to 588. So if we look at the hourly chart here, we tapped all the way down to what is the low here, 576. But it's not about hitting the lows. I mean, definitely you don't trade looking at charts trying to hit every low. A lot of times people sit here at charts and go, oh man, look how much money I could have made. I would have bought like somewhere like right here, you know, even though it went down here, I would have bought there, and then I could have sold there. Looking at charts retroactively, everybody can be a winner. The problem is when you're actually seeing it plummet, and you're like, holy crap, we're going down, you don't exactly know where to pick the bottom. So in something like this where you're hitting 576, if you went ahead and bought in at 650, looking a little bit long term, like a couple of hours or a day, you'd be in great shape. Because like today, right now, we're at 807. That's what? We're like 24 hours away? A little bit longer. We're looking at like maybe a day and a half. So a day and a half later, if you would have bought at 650, you're at 807, you're in good shape. It's $150 per Bitcoin. So it's one of those things where looking at charts is really cool to look back and say, oh, well, I wouldn't have hit the top. I would have hit right here. It's like, well, would you? You know, you gotta notice that as these markets move in the momentum, learn to see where these chart patterns are at, and it'll kind of give you an indicator of where those bottoms are at, and you want to buy in where you feel comfortable that you're going to make a profit, but continue forward with the trend and move along. So you may have to wait later. If you mess up and you hold what you got, you may just have to hold a little bit longer. That's the only difference. Good stuff there. Walls are something we talk about in Bitcoin. This is definitely a Bitcoin term. I don't think that they use this term in all the times I've messed with stocks and other investments. I don't ever hear them saying walls. But so we talk about walls a lot when we're here on btccharts.com because it physically looks like a wall. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here. In fact, I bet you I can. Let's change some layouts here on the fly. Let's go to nope. Switch layout. Let's go to this one here. And we're going to make this really big. And change the market. Let's look at BTC. If you're wondering how cool this stuff is, this is btccharts.com. It's what I use pretty much all the time, especially because of the chat. And it's configurable on the fly. You can add modules, all kinds of cool stuff. So lots of good features. So what we're looking at right here, this is MTGOX. I'll make the chat room. I think there's some people asking some questions here in the chat room, so that way I can see that too. Let's see. So this is what we mean by walls, because you see these vertical lines right here. That right there is definitely a wall. We're looking at $800. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. It's on the $800 price point, and it kind of levels off here at this about 500 level right here. So I could say, okay, dude, check out that wall at 500, or check out the wall at 800, worth 500 Bitcoins. Now, that's the level as far as the total from the current price. There's 500 Bitcoins, but this wall actually starts from about right here. These Bitcoins are leveled up to here, and then from this point, which is about 125 up to 500. So you're looking at maybe 400. Right now, you just saw some walls getting eaten. That's what we say when walls get eaten. So right now, we're at a small wall of about 75, and we wouldn't call that a wall, but there's like 45 Bitcoins right here where the price point is at. So let's look at it in numbers on an order book. If you want to look at it on an order book, let's go to Clark Moody, and we'll see the same information. So let's get these numbers right. We're looking at currently we're somewhere right here, which is the 800 mark. So we'll go here and let's look at the 800 mark. So there it is, 347 coins at $800, and that's exactly what we see here. Oops, did I say 400? Yeah, 347. So there's a total of 400 Bitcoins all the way down to the price point of 802, and that also tells you right here. From 800 to where we're at, we're looking at 368, and this is slowly coming down. I can't catch up with it, but we're sitting around a little bit lower than the 400 mark. In fact, I can zoom in a little bit more. Let's bring that 800 all the way to the edge if I can. No, can't get that detailed. So that's what we're talking about, walls. Walls are any place where there's a stack of coins there, and that's done for different reasons. One of the reasons can be that somebody wants to slow down the momentum. So if you get a sell craze and everyone's selling, if you only have on the order book small amounts, like let's just take from right here, a price point of 797 to 786. There's only just a couple of coins in here, and a lot of times this can go like, you know, $50-$60 per Bitcoin with only like 100 coins. So what ends up happening is that momentum gets up, and somebody like this guy throws up 300 coins, and it's a wall to help impede it. So like right now, people are selling to this thing right now, but he's kind of put a little wall there to help slow it up. So that's what we talk about walls. Same thing happens on the sell side. You can see a big wall like 744, and that's because of somebody saying, well, they don't want, for whatever reason, they don't want the price to just run all the way up. And a couple of reasons they want to do that is things like they want to get rid of their coins at a good price, or it could be one of those things where they've got a partner or themselves or a bot working, and they want to be able to sell a bunch of coins here at this price point so they can buy back at a lower price. Typically what happens, me and you that are just average everyday traders, as soon as we see something like that, we're going to put sell orders at like 818. That way we sell our coins before it hits there, because in most cases when you see a wall like that and momentum hits it, it's like a racquetball off the back wall, man. It's flying back the other direction. So it's one of those things that you want to sell your coins at the high, wait for it to fall back down on the reaction, and then you can buy back in. So there's some strategies there working with walls and why walls are there. Everybody's going to give you all kinds of reasons that there's conspiracy theories and, you know, there's dark forces working behind the walls, and there very well may be. Who knows? I don't know. I don't worry about that. I purely look at the fact that when we hit different resistances, the price is going to move back, and we can see that right here. There's a small wall right here, about 250 coins up, and when it hit the price here with the green line, sorry, there's that box keep popping up. When the green line ends up hitting that wall, notice it's bouncing back down, and now we're back to 800. So we went from 815 to 800. Now that's not a big move in this example, but these kinds of price fluctuations happen all the time with $100, with $50, and that's definitely worth it to you, even with a GOX commission fee of about $8 right now at $800. So not a bad way to take a look at things and see where pricing is going to move back to. If you see a big wall up ahead, be ready to maybe sell a little bit, 10%, 20% before the wall. That way you can catch another buy a few dollars down. Same thing if it bounces off the sell wall, you want to know where do you buy back in. Well, you may want to buy in before the next wall, which in this case might be like 790. This here's got a little bit of a wall, so you may want to sell at 812 and buy back at 792. I mean, small little trades sometimes, depending on what you're working with and how quick you are on the keyboard, definitely will help you out. So we're nearing the end of 30 minutes. I kind of wanted to keep this one a little short, little tutorial, I guess, kind of throw it out on YouTube and get some information. We've had up to 35 viewers on this little thing, so I appreciate you guys joining in. One of the things I'll tap in is that this is all newfound fame. I haven't done this before for Bitcoin. And so if you're liking some of these kinds of little hangouts that we're doing, especially the one I'm going to do here in just a minute, we're just going to open it up. Usually we have like 200 people watching the open hangouts, and we just hang out with a couple of guys and we'll talk about Bitcoin, have some fun. The way to be in touch with when these things happen is go to the communities on Google Plus and search for the Bitcoin community. So you can type in Bitcoin, and one of those communities is going to have some pretty sexy charts like this right here, and that's the BTC trading charts community. Join that. You'll get notified anytime we have hangouts, as well as if you pop in there, it'll say video calls in this community, and you'll have a little link there for the video call. Another thing you can do is you can follow me, you can plus me, you can tweet me, and whatever else there is out there, feel free to do that. All of this is free. I mean, I'm not charging for anything. I don't want any QR codes to be plastered up so that I can get money, BTC sent to me. This is all just for fun, having a good time. Hopefully in the future we're going to bring up a website and talk about more stuff. So that's pretty much it. I want to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. This is Bonavest, your host with the the worst Bitcoin trading advice on the internet and the interwebs. So follow me, plus me, like it up, thumbs it up, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you in the next free fall hangout. Not a free fall. My God, I'm jinxing myself here. So it's a free for all hangout. We don't want a free fall. We just had that a few days ago. We don't want that anymore. So we're only talking about to the moon. So catch you on the next hangout, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later.